Okay, everyone, I think we're ready to start here. I see Waylon's back on. So without any further ado, I'm going to let Waylon start.
Okay, let's get started. 19 minutes to go. So we're going to try and get through as many notebook features or tips that we can get through in the next 19 minutes. I'm going to move right on to the first one. Something very important that we're going to look at first is the My Content section. And if you find that you've got an object that you want to use, maybe multiple times that you found, either searching in the gallery here, or perhaps it's an object that you brought in from another source, you can save that to your My Content. So right here, I'm just going to uncheck my auto hide so I can keep that window open. I'm going to take this object and I'm going to drag it, just click and drag and drop it right on top of the My Content folder and let go. And now you see that it's sitting inside of the My Content area. It's got a funny name to it, so I'm just going to right click on that and rename. And I'm going to call that Bad Piggy, if you're familiar with the Angry Birds. So now I have that object that I can go to any slide, or in any Smart Notebook file, or open a brand new one, and I will have that content sitting in My Content, not just in this lesson that I've got going now. So that's first, using the My Content to add objects to My Content, so for easy access. And that also includes things that you may find inside here. For example, oranges. If I was doing a lesson on nutrition and I knew I was going to use those oranges multiple times, I would just drag those into My Content, and they would be sitting there ready for me to drag back in at any point in time on any page in any lesson. Okay, that's number one. The next one, I'm just going to turn my auto hide back on. Resetting pages. Also in the My Content, I can save pages to My Content. All right, so for example, this particular page, maybe this was going to be something I was going to reuse many times. So in my page sorter group here, if I use the drop down, you'll see that I have an option here to add the page to my gallery. So not only can I add objects, but also entire pages, activities that I maybe have created that I want to use over and over. So I can add that page to the gallery. And so you'll notice that it is now here. I'm clicked on My Content, and here's the page that I just added. By default, it enters the date that I added it. Again, I'll rename that. I'm going to click on that and say this is my piggy page, for lack of a better name. And now I will have that at any point in time, that even if I get rid of all this and I said, you know what, we're going to do the My Piggy activity, I would go into the gallery under My Content, and I would have this page ready to go, and I can just drag and drop it in there. And again, I have access to that for every lesson or anytime I open a new notebook file. Moving right on. Activity Builder. You'll notice on the left-hand side here, we have a new tab at the bottom, the little blue puzzle piece. And when I click on that, this brings us to the Activity Builder. And we can make any object one of those sorting, labeling type of activities. So for example, here, I've gone into the gallery and grabbed some different food items, and I've got these two nice healthy students. And the question would be, what we're going to build an activity that says what objects or what foods are good for us and what foods are not. So to begin, I would select the activity builder. I'm going to select the object that is going to be my kind of action object. And then I'll go over and click on the blue puzzle piece. So this is selected. I come over to the blue puzzle piece, and I'm going to click the edit button. Right, so it says a selected object. I'm going to edit this. Now you'll see that this becomes kind of a lined overlay on top of it. And then I get these two boxes. Accept these objects, drag objects to here to accept them, drag objects here to reject them. So in this case, healthy objects, and I have to uncheck my auto hide in order to do this. So the healthy objects, I've still got my object, blue puzzle piece. I'm going to drag my banana over here because that is healthy. Cake, no, carrots, yes. Carrots, we'll drag the carrots in. Cheese, and apple or donut, we'll go with the apple. And so these are all the possible answers for healthy foods. And then I can say, whatever's left, just call that wrong answers. Okay. And then I can have some settings for this. When the object is accepted, they'll fade out. I'm going to actually have them, I'm going to put none. Let them stay on the screen. And reject, actually, well, let's do that. Let's do that fade out. And we'll do none with that one. We'll say done. So now when I look at this activity, and if I drag a cake to them, nothing happens. I draw a carrot, fades away. They ate the carrot, that was good for them. The cheese, that was good for them, right? And so on. Candy, no. Apple fades away, donut stays away. Okay. And still no reset page. That's interesting. So I'm just going to undo here for a second just to go through the options here. So the settings in this case, I could have them stay, and these could bounce back, and we'll have these ones spin. Same idea, that now when we do the activity, cake, they bounce back, no, rejected. Carrots, spin, yes. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to move this to the back so that the carrot stays on top of them. Yes, they like carrots. Cheese, yes. Donut, no. So you get the idea with the activity builder. We could also do it with multiple objects. So we take the same items here, and we'll take, we're going to categorize them as objects or foods that begin with the letter C, foods that begin with the letter B, and then everything else. So I'm going to click on my C, click the activity builder, edit, and I'm going to drag all the seafoods, that's a joke, into the accepted box. So there, no, did it work? There we go. Cheese, carrots, cake, and nothing else there. Add all remaining here. And I'm going to double check my settings. So accepted, fades out, and bounce back when rejected. That's fine. Then I can grab my other object and do the same thing. I still have my blue puzzle piece. I'm going to edit that. And anything that starts with B, so banana goes there, and candy, apple, and donut, plus everything else are rejected. So now we actually have two sorting possibilities here. So if I bring the cheese here, great. Carrot here, nope. Banana here, yes. Candy, no. So that's using the activity builder with one object or multiple objects. Okay, 9 minutes ago. Let's move on. Custom pens. So when we click on the pen tool, we get some different options here. I'm just going to click on the pen, and there's the red, black, thin line. There's a, what's this one? Purple and yellow, and sometimes you get some other custom ones. There's a dotted line. But you can actually create your own custom pens. So for example, we have this black dotted line. I have something else that I'm going to use more often. So with this one selected, I'm going to go over to my Properties tab and select that. And I'm going to change this up. I'm not going to use black. I'm going to use orange, I think that is. It's going to be a little thicker, solid, and I'm going to end it with an arrow. And then what I'm going to do is, because I'm going to use this pen style over and over and over, I'm going to click Save Tool Properties. So now you see that icon right up here, the image actually changes, and that is now the default pen for that button. And there's my orange line with the arrow, and there's one I did actually earlier with same idea with the green. So that's creating a custom pen, and you can do that with any one of these. That does not change the pens on your tray. They still act as black, red, and green, and blue. Let's see, what's next? Pens and, okay, so creative pens. Actually, that should say creative pens and ink fill, I think, unless that's the next one. No. Let's go creative pens. So another pen style here is the creative pen. And these were the ones, I think that was the happy face, and we had some stars and some daisies. And then there was a new one, kind of I don't know if those are snowflakes or what they are. But I think I had creative pens. Let's go back here. So what you can do is you can actually create a custom creative pen. And if I'm going to go back and grab my my bad piggy, right, in my pictures, and let's say I want to make a pen with the bad piggy, and I'm going to replace the daisies creative pen. So with the daisies selected, I'm going to click on the Properties tab, and I see this option here that says Use a Custom Stamp Image. So I'm going to select that, and then I can either browse for a file that's on my computer, or I can select an object that is on my screen right now. So I'm just going to come over here. You see I get this, I click this, and I get the little eyedropper. I'm going to come over and click on this piggy, and here it shows the piggy in the blue square. I'm going to save this. So now you'll notice that the icon has changed, the button has changed up in the menu bar, and now I have a creative pen with piggies. So that's kind of neat. And then if I want to go back, I don't want to use my piggies, I go back to the Properties tab, and I can say Use the Default, and that will take me back to and I'll hit Save Tool Properties, and you'll see I'm back to the daisies. So that's creative pens. You can use any image there that you want. Let's move on. Just another thing about, I guess, about pens I'll mention. I'm going to go back to, we talked about drawing with pens, and it used to be that when you drew something, let me clear all this ink off, to fill a shape. So if I drew a shape, there's the box, and I would use my paint bucket to fill that with some particular color, orange. I could only fill in shapes, or these are regular polygons. But now with the new Notebook 11, I can actually draw something. I'm going to draw a pumpkin. All right, so I'm just going to close that off, and this is a pretty bad pumpkin, actually. And if I come over to my fill tool, I should be able to, I didn't draw it properly. Let me go back to my pen. Start with my pumpkin. And now grab my bucket tool. I can now fill that in, and I could continue. Now I'm going to go back and put my eyes on it. Okay, so we're actually able to use the fill tool with pen-drawn objects. Just finish off my pumpkin there a little bit. There, pretty bad pumpkin. So that's a new feature. Let's see here, what's next? Cell shade. Okay, so if I have a table that I've inserted using the table tool up here, I've just kind of drawn in a perfect squares activity where we're going to play a matching game. And what I'm going to do is we have what's called individual cell shade. And you're probably familiar with the screen shade that we had before. If I could find that screen shade, we had something like this where we could move it up and down and things like that. But we can actually do that with individual cells on a table. So I'm just going to select my table here, and I'm going to say Add Table Shade. And what that does, and I should bring that to the front. I want to put those objects in there actually. You can, if the objects were in behind here, let me bring this, I'm going to bring my table in my front here. 1 second here. Table, order. Oh, that in there. Well, that didn't work out so well, but we could put objects in here. I'm going to do this again. I'm going to take this out and drop that in there. So I'd actually put the numbers in like this. So they would be hidden in behind the actual shell cells. And so now I'm going to play like a matching game where a memory game 49, okay, 49 and the root of 49. I'm going to, well, I can kind of see the answers. So where's 7? Right, and I would click the shade and reveal, oh, I made a match. Carry on. If I don't make a match, I would cover them up and keep going. So that's doing individual shades on cells. It's almost like a tongue twister. Back to the table tool. A quick, easy way to do a table. I'm going to show you if I just right-click on this table and I have split cell. Imagine that I want to make this a 4x4 grid, and I could go up here. Let me just add I can go up here and I can grab a 4x4 or even a 4x4. And when I put that in, it's not all the same size, and I have to kind of play with it to make it look right by grabbing the lines and doing. I'm kind of playing with it a little bit like that. But if I go back here, I've just put in a one cell table. So I just went here and grabbed one cell and kind of stretched it out to make a big square. And now when I click, I'm going to click split cell. Just right click here on the table, split cell, and I'm going to put that into a 2x2, and then I'll grab each individual cell and do a 2x2, and very quickly I've got a nice 4x4 table that I can work with. And you can do the same thing with merging. I could grab these center ones and merge those. And I can drag and drop objects in there again. I'll go get my piggy, bring him out here. And this could become a game piece of some sort. I'll put the infinite cloner on, and now I can drop my piggy wherever I want on that board. And I could actually put a big piggy in the middle. Okay, so that's splitting cells. I see it's 4 o'clock. Gesture grouping, these are 2 objects. And if I come up and if I highlight them both, you can see they're both highlighted because of the 2 kind of blue squares on them. I'm just going to grab my finger and do a little shake, and then they're automatically grouped as one object, and that is the bonus 401 tip. Mark, are we out of time? I don't hear Mark, so maybe I can keep going. Little fun object. Oh, no, the fire. All right, wait, I got 5 seconds left. I can click on the fire. There's a lot of stuff there, yeah.
All right, well, I thank you very much for your time. Your 20 minutes is up. Maybe further down the road we can do another one of these notebook sessions for here. And so we're going to cut it here. I thank you everyone for coming, and I'll see everyone next week.